Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. It's time for the 48-hour analysis. Yes, just 2 days ago, all of these skins rotated into the Rust store, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins still potentially looks like a good investment. We're going to track their progress based on their sales so far, and, we'll just kind of figure out, are there any new problems that might have appeared? Are there any new positives that might have appeared? Sounds good? Right, let's just jump straight in. So what we're currently looking at is the first 24-hour sales. So what you can see here, as expected, Berserker Cloak did about 20,000 sales. Not surprised by that in the slightest. My initial estimate that this was going to probably do 40,000 sales, looking pretty strong. Now let's go take a look and see how it is after 2 days. And what do we see? 28,000 sales at the moment, around. Now, SCMM is not 100% accurate. It's an estimate. It's using a formula to figure out what are the likely amounts. This could easily change. But anyway, at the moment, it definitely does look like we've got about 28,000 individual people who have bought this skin, as you can see right here. The real question is how many of the people who bought them have bought multiples? It assumes there's about 28,000 as well, but I think there's probably a lot more. Remember, there's a lot of people with private accounts that might have thousands. So, of course, we're talking about the Berserker Cloak. Let's just commit to this. Will this reach the hypothesis of when I sat there and said, this is definitely looking to be a very in-demand skin, this is definitely looking like it's going to do about 40,000 sales. At the moment, I'm still confident it's going to do that number. Things are definitely looking very good for this. I have been looking at the likes of the subreddit, Rust subreddit and whatnot, and seeing people's opinions on it and whatnot. It's pretty goofy. I have seen, and I should show this tweet, so Vase, one of the creators of said skin, also with Hanushka and whatnot, but he tweeted, so if I could just find that, yeah. He tweeted this, and it got 61,000 views. Now, on average, for all of the other skins that people who had accepted, who tweeted out, said, hey, I got a skin accepted, that's cool. On average, they got like a few thousand views. Vase got 61,000 views. So clearly, there's a lot of interest in this skin. So, yeah, I've seen some people post their opinions. I've seen some people, like, really gawk at it. Loads of people seem to be very favourable all over this skin. Now's the question of, is it still looking to be perfectly fine if it's going to do about 40,000 sales? My current answer is, I do think so. In the long term, I don't think we're going to see anything like this being accepted ever again. There is one thing that I am considering, though. With all the Rust content creators seeing this and enjoying this, what's stopping them from asking a skin creator for making them a Twitch drop that's exactly like this? Do you understand what I mean? What's stopping them from knocking on Vay's door and say, hey, I like this skin. Can I make my own version of it? Do you see what I mean? So if Face Punch are going to be lenient for this to be accepted, what's stopping us potentially seeing Twitch drops exactly like that? So I'm kind of thinking that could potentially be a potential problem for this. Potentially, because of course a Twitch drop would be free. But we're nowhere near like that. Plus, we've only just recently found out we've got another batch of Twitch drops coming during September. So, and none of them have anything like this. So, you got a long ways for that to potentially even happen. Anyway. The reason why this is selling so well, number one, looks cool. Number two, it can be quite deceiving. When you look at someone from the front, as you can see right there, yeah, from a distance, you're probably not going to notice that they're actually wearing a jacket because the front is transparent. With that, I get the feeling a lot of people are probably thinking, yeah, maybe that's what I should wear all the time and whatnot. Nah. It is really, like, dependent on, do you even enjoy using jackets? Probably not in the desert. Probably you do when you're in the snowy areas and whatnot, but overall, I think this will be doing quite nice in the long term. I don't imagine we're going to get anything like this ever again. And with the amount of sales that we have, I would have expected a whole lot more of them, but I reckon the price is what stopped it from happening, so all the better. Remember when I spoke about the Pirate Collection? One of the biggest concerns I had with it was that all the pieces sold for 99 cents. Therefore, we had an abundance of sales, didn't we? On average, all of the pirate skins had like 50,000 plus sales. Well, because of this selling at a higher price, it stopped it from selling ridiculous amounts. But I still think we're going to see about 40,000 because the demand is so strong for it. So, at the very least, this is also abnormal. We don't need to rush into buying it. We can do abnormal barders first, see what the support looks like. If it's absurd and has barders going all the way and above $3.50, then all the better. Sorry, I hit my thing there. All the better. It would look perfectly fine to go ahead and buy. So yeah, I still think we're going to have about 40,000 sales, but I do think this is going to have a pretty nice future ahead of it. Now, will there be some more skin creators trying to make jacket skins like this? Potentially, but on average, how many jacket skins do we get accepted every single year? 1. That seems to be the pattern. I don't expect to see any more, and I do not expect to see a jacket skin like this ever being accepted again. But Twitch drops? Yeah, maybe. So overall, it's probably a perfectly fine thing to buy at the moment, but to be 100% sure, abnormal barders first. Leave it till Wednesday or Thursday to make that decision. So, sounds good? Perfect. Right, so things are still looking perfectly fine. I feel like most of the sales are justified based on like genuine demand. We'll move on from here. Let's start talking about the Chameleon Thompson. So 2 days in, Chameleon Thompson's probably one of the better selling Thompsons already. What do you mean by that? Just take a look at all the Thompson skins that have come out so far this year. So Wasteland did 14,000, Luna did 13,000, Tier 3 did 14,000, 13,000 here, that did 41,000, this did 18,000, so 16,700. So yeah, basically it looks like Chameleon has already taken up third place. Third place in terms of most sales out of all of these Thompson skins in 2023. It's very likely, of course, going to beat the likes of high quality Metal Thompson, which only has about 18,000 sales. This is looking to be doing between 25 to 30,000 sales. Now, initially, I looked at that and I thought, you know what? It's probably going to do about 30,000 sales. As of now, it probably might just miss out on that. Might just about miss out on it. I also made a point during my predictions when I was trying to figure out how well it likely to do. I made the point that it kind of looks like the tempered Thompson and whatnot, but like the opposite colouring. It complements each other, I guess, is the right term. It's somewhat the opposite, but the shine and detail is very reminiscent of it, if you know what I mean. And if you go take a look at the likes of the tempered Thompson, that's always been in demand. The only problem that has is, well, of course, it came out during offline TV era and it did 90,000 sales. Oh my god. But yeah, just understand the reason why that struggles is because so many of them sold. But it's a frequent skin that usually appears in the front page of the Steam market. In fact, let's just go take a look. Not right now. What about page 2? What about page 3? It's usually around here somewhere, along with Bombing Thompson. It always gets bought and sold. Usually, it's a good indicator to see how good the economy is. When this is close to or slightly in the positive, the economy is doing great. When this is struggling a fair bit, economy's either just stagnating or not doing much. So yeah, that and that. But again, these are like anomalies. We won't see anything like this ever happen again with the amount of sales that they had. But yeah, I feel like our Chameleon Thompson complements that. And if you've seen a lot of the tempered weapons, they did quite all right. They did nicely. They did nicely. So back over to here. This Thompson, I do get the feeling it's probably going to do, as I said, between 25 to 30,000 sales. But I also get the feeling that we're going to see Emilio Frito making a full set of it. Version 2s. More version 2s in ways. We previously had the likes of an AK-47, an MP5, and we also had an LR300. They, of course, weren't accepted as well. But randomly, Chameleon Thompson's picked out this past Thursday. So yeah, maybe we will see some more of it. Now, has anyone like knocked on the door and say, "Hey, Emilio, are you going to be making some more skins with this now?" He hasn't responded. So we'll see what happens. But I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we do see another batch of more of these skins. Sorry, I need a drink. I was trying to hold that back, but yeah. So things kind of look like there's going to be a bit of a positivity based on the fact that I do think we're going to see some more skins out of this. We already showed that off during the Rust rotation video and, of course, the predictions video. Keep an eye on the workshop. Keep an eye and see what Emilio Frito's making next or next week, all right? If we do see it potentially turning into a brand new collection, all the better for this Thompson. But by default, it being a Thompson and very shiny, very colourful in its own way, I get the feeling it's probably going to have a pretty good future in the long term. Post-Christmas time, let's see how many of these sell. There might be a big demand for it. but we shall see. It's abnormal. I don't feel the need to rush into buying it. Leave it as it is for now. Abnormal barders first. Look at the support afterwards. Then we'll make the decision whether we want to jump in and buy some. Sounds good? All right. Knights Templar AR. I am still very unsure about this AK-47. What do you mean, Hedge? Well, take a look at it. It looks awesome. That is a very cool looking design. That looks amazing. But is it the type of skin that everybody's going to appreciate? Is this the type of skin where it's always going to be fairly in demand, retain its value, and do quite all right? I'm not 100% sure in that. Here it is at night time. Get a bit of lighting. Ooh. So Johnny Oldboy did a very good skin here. But there's also a question of, what about the Knights Templar collection as a whole? Well, every single Knights Templar skin that has been submitted has now been accepted. All of these, they're all accepted now. There is no more Knights Templar skin on the workshop. So one might think, okay, maybe Johnny Oldboy might potentially turn it into a collection. Maybe we'll get some more weapon skins and whatnot. Well, it turns out Johnny Oldboy actually hasn't really submitted any skins for quite some time. 2 months to be precise. So, yeah, whilst people might be sitting here and saying, oh, yeah, this is looking good, will we see any more? I don't think he's around. It's awkward. So if we just go over to here, if we go over to his workshop items, the most recent one was the frozen fish box, and that was submitted 2 months ago, over 2 months ago to be precise. So we'll keep an eye out for this, but the likes of the AK itself, again, AK-47s, there is an abundance of skins, as you can see right here. When it loads, take your time, 194 to pick from. Does this stand out like the Redemption AR? Does this stand out like the Kiss AR? Quite a lot of AK-47 skins have come out this year, and the vast majority of them have gone down by about 50%, down to around $1. This is the usual routine with a lot of AK-47s. And whilst this might look pretty cool right now, there might be a very cool AK-47 that comes out sometime in the near future after this. Chameleon AK-47, like I suggested. That could potentially come out, and everybody will want that instead. And then they'll just say, I don't like this anymore, throw it away. And it ends up like one of these $1 AKs. So if you're cautious about that, maybe you just want to stick with a buy order. It looks cool, but it has sold about 12,400 now. This is probably going to reach about 20k. 20k sales, I reckon. So we'll leave that for now. Okay, cool. Moving on. Rainbow Pony Satchel. I'm conflicted with this, right? I'm conflicted. By default, I'm not exactly a fan with the likes of Satchel charge skins. Number one, you skin it, and then it explodes, and then it's gone. Well, that didn't last, did it? So do you kind of understand the problem with these? Why would you want to skin something that's going to disappear, and it's gone forever? Now, you don't lose the skin, you don't lose the ability to, you don't lose the ability to make the skin, but what I'm saying is you put the effort to skin something that will didn't explode, and it's vanished, and it's gone, and it's like, well, what was the point in that? You know, you only see it for a small time, unless it doesn't explode, but do you get what I mean? It's awkward. And this is why, when you look at all of the most recent Satchel charge skins that have come out, none of them are doing very well. Now, the older ones are doing a little bit better, but it's not exactly like this is like $10 or anything. They're selling for like $4 or $5 at their best. I don't think the interest is there. Whilst it looks goofy, is that going to hold up? Probably not. We've had Satchel Charge from Hell, so that was part of a well-established, well-liked collection. That's selling for $1.86 right now, and it sold for $2.49. That didn't hold up great. And yeah, this is only selling for 99 cents, fair enough. But it's Rainbow Pony, all that. The clothing and armor, perhaps, but then you got some weapon skins and whatnot that, oh, I mean, that's not doing super good, is it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted. Maybe I am just going to stick with doing a buy order. I'm not confident with it, and I'm sure you can tell. So, a little bit awkward there. Right, banana leaf poncho and bandana. So I'm still conflicted with the banana leaf poncho. It is, by default, more expensive than the deep sea poncho and the fish poncho. But when you look at the fish poncho and the likes of that, they're cheaper options, and don't you think they already give around the same amount of camouflage compared to the likes of the banana leaf poncho? Because by default, people are looking for skins that can be useful camouflage in the early game, the primitive time. No, you know what I'm talking about. Primitive green camo would definitely be well sought after and in demand. But with the price this is selling for, and with what we already have, so again, back over to here. How much is that fish poncho currently selling for? $1.50. Well, that seems a whole lot more appealing based on the fact that it's very affordable and achievable to, purchase. So, yeah, why put your money towards something like that when you can just get something like that? Now, again, have people put the effort in to test this out? Have they checked it in-game and seen if it's any good? Overall, with the amount of sales that this is currently having, it's probably going to do about 15,000 sales at the very least, same as this. But again, it's a matter of cheaper alternatives. They're out there, and they are much more affordable. Forest Camo Bandana, 16 cents. Green Bandana, 12 cents. The only potential positive we have for the likes of this banana leaf collection is if we see, I don't know, some boots, some gloves, more primitive banana leaf. But has anyone asked? Has anyone said, are we going to see more of this collection? So, okay, congrats me. Too bad it was sharp. Yeah, no one's actually asked them, hey, are you going to add to this? And so they haven't responded that. If you care, you got to be the one to ask. So, yeah, I don't know what's potentially coming out in the future, but what I can sit here and say is keep an eye on the workshop. So, as of now, that's abnormal. I'd rather do my builder first, then look at it afterwards. This isn't. But even then, we have those green bandanas that already exist. I'm not really confident in that one. I might just say I might do like a 50-cent builder and leave it as is. It's awkward. It is awkward. But this, I'm conflicted now. So, not as confident as I was. So, I'm going to leave that, as I said, builders first, then look at it afterwards. Adobe Garage Door. Now, there's one thing that I didn't make too much of a fuss. God, mumbled a bit there. There was one thing that I didn't make too much of a fuss about when I looked at this. The amount of Garage Door skins that we've had accepted so far this year. What do we see? 12. Now, what's so special? Well, last year, in all of 2022, we had 14 garage doors. Now, quite a lot of them are actually doing quite all right now. This is something for us to take into consideration because, as you can see here, we got quite a lot of them that aren't doing very well. Some of them doing a little bit better, but yeah, unfortunately, not all of them. So with the likes of this, the main issue is this really only pairs up with one thing, and that's the building skin, the Adobe building skin. It was quite literally made for it when the Adobe building skin was first introduced, back in May time. So, how many of you people are still using Adobe? Or have you switched over to stone brick? So, yeah, brickstone, sorry about that. I got that wrong. But, yeah, anyway, moving on. I am a little bit worried, but with the lack of sales could potentially mean that this actually works out quite alright in the future. Little by little, bit by bit, more and more people are probably going to be buying Adobe and using Adobe, and therefore, with the likes of this not selling that much, the demand for this might gradually increase over time, and little by little the quantity will disappear, and then suddenly it's quite expensive. So, if this doesn't actually sell that much, potentially all the better for this to be a better investment. And at the moment, this is looking to be doing currently about 12 to 15,000 sales. In the grand scheme of things, that's not that much. And when you compare it to all the other garage doors that have come out so far this year, the lowest selling one was, of course, the Minted Gold, with only 15,000 sales. On average, all of these other garage doors had about like 22 to 25,000. Quite a lot of them above 35,000 sales, as you can see. So, yeah, this might actually be a sneaky investment that might work out well, but only in the long term. So probably it's a better case of just doing a pretty good build on it and see how it plays out as time goes on. As I did allude to just a few days ago, there might be a situation in the future where Face Punch has the ability to put their building skins on offer. Surprise, surprise, it's 33% off or 50% off or 80% off. You don't know how things are going to be, do you? So we shall see. But if more and more people keep getting Adobe, I see more and more people desiring skins like this. So, yeah. Simple as, but we're going to leave it for now. I'd rather do my builder first. No Mercy Pump Shotgun. Pump Shotguns skins, we don't really see that many of them anymore. 2021 we had 2, 2022 we had 1, and so far this year we've had 2. Is there a decent chance we potentially might see another Pump Shotgun skin being accepted this year? Well, based on what I see in terms of submissions for Pump Shotguns, we have seen the occasional one appear here and there. You'll probably on average see 1 or 2 every 2 weeks, and that's it. Double barrels are definitely more popular, and of course double barrels also get a lot more acceptances, so it's not too hard to figure out why we see a whole lot more double barrel shotgun skins being accepted, submitted. submitted compared to the likes of pump shotguns. Don't even get me started on water pipe. But anyway, this right here, I'm half confident in. It hasn't sold that much, which could actually potentially help it out. I'm expecting about 12,000 sales for this by the end of the week, by next Thursday. But for now, see, if it doesn't have that many sales, one might think, well, clearly nobody wants it. No, there's no desire for it. You can assume that. But I just don't think we're going to be seeing that many pump shotgun skins being submitted and accepted anytime soon. So I could potentially see the appeal of this. And, you know, just take a look at it. No Mercy collection. Looking pretty good. Yep. A lot of people do have No Mercy skins, and this could definitely pair up with the likes of the clothing and the armor and whatnot. So it's up to you, really. Are you a fan of this? Would you like to own one yourself? What do you reckon everybody else is thinking? Now, again, are you one to use the likes of a pump shotgun or a double barrel? And now you kind of question, well, there you go. Gun demand definitely has an influence in regards to skin prices. If the weapon itself is desirable and you actively want to use it and whatnot, and if it's easy to actually get a hold of and whatnot, then all the better for the skins. But, yeah, with that, I think it'll be doing all right, but I don't think it's going to be doing super great. I think this definitely has a potential to go below its restore price, but I could also see it doing quite all right in the long term if it doesn't really have that many sales, which at the moment seems to be the case. So yeah, we're going to leave that for now. Buy order first because it's abnormal, and then we'll look at the support afterwards, and then we'll make the decision if we want to jump in and buy some that's straight from the restore. So as of now, I've kind of changed my tune on some of the skins. But with the likes of this and whatnot, everything's meeting expectations, and I have some more expectations for the long term. I'm definitely thinking more long term now, because quite literally, just a few months away, we're having Christmas again. And I know, with loads of people returning to play the game, you're going to see an increase in the player count, and we're going to see some increase in prices for all the skins in Rust. Just, literally, just after Christmas ends, that's when everything goes up in price for a good month or so. All right, so take that into consideration. But there's also something else that we have to take into consideration: CS2, Counter-Strike 2. Yes, we are now reaching the end of August, and as stated here, they were intending to release the CS2 launch to the public some point in the summer. Technically speaking, American summer ends at some point in September. But what we also have with the likes of Counter-Strike, or CSGO at the moment, is a sticker sale. And on average, every sticker sale kind of lasts like between 60 and 70 days. We get that from the two previous majors. So Antwerp Major lasted 66 days, Rio Major lasted 69 days. Based on when this Paris 2023 sticker sales first started, I just kind of rounded up to about 70 days later. We are expecting the Paris 2023 sale to end at like maybe what was it, August 29th. That's it. I'm under the impression, because so far recently with the tests that we've seen in CS2, some maps have been rotated in and out. They are now, with the most recent update, testing every single map all at once. It really does look like we're going to have Counter-Strike 2 launching pretty soon. And why do I bring this up during my Rust talk? Well, basically, as I move over to SteamDB, I am pretty sure, I'm confident that we are going to see the player count, the all-time peak, being beaten easily. Now then, again, technically it would be a new game, but let's just stick with this. There's going to be a lot of very curious people returning to play Counter-Strike when the new CS2 is released to the public and whatnot. And I also get the feeling that Valve is probably going to hold back their sticker sale for this as well, or at the very least they've timed it so the final week of the sticker sale will be when CS2 releases, because when loads of people return to play CS2, they're going to see that sticker sale, and then they're going to probably have some fear of missing out purchases. So it just kind of lines up perfectly. So everything from what I'm seeing with Counter-Strike seems to be lining up that CS2 will be releasing soon, and it very likely could affect our Rust skins. Because if loads of people are going to be returning to playing CS2 and this takes up their attention, the player counts of Rust might, badly be affected. We've already gone down a fair bit, but last month was a bit ridiculous, wasn't it? But anyway, do you understand? If less people are playing Rust and playing CS Counter-Strike instead, then of course less people playing equals less demand for the skins, which of course leads to skin prices going down. By default, we do usually see skin prices suffer in the fall/autumn season. That is routine. We see this happen all the time. But everything rebounds and works out very nicely as December hits, and of course post-Christmas, after December, January, February time. That's when we usually see the best prices for skins. So just be aware of the whole situation. Alright, this is just seasonal patterns, but we've definitely got a big push because, of course, Counter-Strike 2 is coming out soon. Soon. I can't guarantee if this is definitely going to be coming out soon, but it's definitely lining up pretty nicely that it's going to be coming out soon. If they're testing all of the maps all at once now after doing little by little, bit by bit for the past few weeks, it really does look like a big proper release will be soon. Okay, so if you're worried about your Rust skins, maybe it's a reasonably good time to sell them now, because if Rust skins are expected to get cheaper and cheaper from here and now, maybe as we hitting a rock bottom around October time, well, if you sell now, you'd probably have quite a lot of money to go buy all of your skins again when they're at their rock bottom price in just about 2 months, and you could pick them up for a lot less money. Therefore, with the extra money, you could probably go buy some more things. The choice is yours. And then for the final thing that I wanted to talk about, here is the E-Class Revolver. So we have seen some sales over $300. There's one of them did sell for $500. There it is on August 18th. One of them did sell for about $500. But recently it's cooled off a fair bit. We're now seeing sales of just under $300. So yeah, highest buy order earlier was $280. That must have been, accepted. Someone probably sold straight to it. But yeah, E-Class Revolver, as of now, does appear to be very notorious. Now, I was noticing this on the subreddit. If we just quickly go over to here. What is the story of this No Mercy special edition No Mercy Revolver that skyrocketed to $200+ within 1 week? Well, it seems not everybody is fully aware of the whole situation that happened, and they probably just by default assume it's very, very rare. But if you look at my YouTube, you might have noticed I uploaded a pretty hefty video today. No Mercy E-Class. Is it rare? If you don't fully have a good idea of what happened with the No Mercy Revolver that recently came out with the Complete the Sets batch, but was then removed. Oh, what happened there? Well, if you don't fully understand the whole story, consider giving this a watch. It's got plenty of chapters to help you skip through if you just want to get straight to the point. But yeah, this was a whole bit of funny business. And now, as we look back over to here, people are starting to become more and more aware of it. And as we go back over to here, the price for what it is, yeah. So this has become, quote unquote, a notorious skin, and suddenly everybody feels the need to want it, and therefore the price is that. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Will this hold? I don't think so. And I do plan to do a follow-up video with Micro again, looking at the skin and looking at the reaction to it and all the sales. So keep an eye out for that. And with that, I hope this video was helpful and insightful to all of you. Keep an eye on these sales. Start making decisions in how you're going to approach them. And yeah, best of luck with all of your investments, and best of luck to you. Enjoy your weekend and keep an eye on the workshop. Keep an eye on the workshop. Keep an eye on the workshop. All right, catch you later. See you, goodbye.